In today's video, we're checking out the Fender Deluxe Reverb Amplifier. This is the all-tube version. It's not a tone master, so yes, it does weigh a bit. There's no power scaling or anything on this. You turn it up and you get a great tone. Firstly, a massive thank you to Sky Music for the loan of this. I don't get to keep it, nor are they paying me to make this video. If you want to check this amp out, links to everywhere will be in the description below. The Fender Deluxe Reverb is rated at 22 watts and it's loaded with this 12-inch Jensen C12K speaker, which are nice and bright on the top end, yet also give you a really traditional and classic Fender sound. These speakers are made in Italy. Another contributing factor to the Fender sound is the 6 V6 output tubes, and that also corresponds to how the amp feels to play and the amount of low end you get. Here's the front panel. We get the normal channel over here, which is dead dry. We get two different inputs. Channel input number 1 is your normal input. Channel number 2 drops the input gain. So if you want to play a little bit cleaner, you can use channel 2. Same goes for the vibrato channel, except this channel, it allows you to also incorporate the reverb and the vibrato, which is one of the reasons why you'd buy this amp. Alright, let's get into it. In today's video, I've got the amplifier mic'd up with a Shure SM57 and a Sennheiser E906, two classic microphones for this classic amp. Now I'm going to start with the volume cranked on the vibrato channel at 7.5. So we're going to start with the guitar volume down so I can mess with the volume on the guitar and show you how dynamic it is. I've got the reverb set to 2.5 or just under 3. This bridge and middle pickups together with the volume down. Here we go. So with the guitar amplifier cranked, the volume on the guitar down, and changing your picking dynamics drastically changes what you get out of this amp. And that's with the volume most of the way down on the guitar. This is really cool. This is a real plug and play amp if you can get it up to about 7.5. This is the sweet spot for me. So let's try it on neck pickup now. I'm going to start with the volume control down, then I'll wind it up. Here we go. A little more. And all the way up. Huge sound, a lot of reverb. And now we're over to some P90 pickups thanks to my Gibson Les Paul Special. One of the benefits of a guitar like this or something with humbuckers is being able to push the front end even more into that classic rock kind of territory, which is awesome. I've turned the reverb down and I've got the amp set to 7.5. Have a listen to this on bridge pickup. have the volume down. Woo, that's loud. The Deluxe Reverb's known for having a really great vibrato circuit, and paired with the reverb, you can get some really cool tones. You can turn both the reverb and the vibrato on and off by using the provided foot switch, which is awesome. As you can see from the front here, I've got the reverb set to 3, the speed set to 3, and the intensity set to 9. I've also just backed off the volume to about 5.5. Thanks for watching, folks. My name's Shane. A massive thanks again to Sky Music for the loan of this Fender Deluxe Reverb Reissue Amplifier. Really appreciate it. If you want to check them out, links to them will be below. I'll leave some Sweetwater and Thomann links down there so you can check it out in your part of the world. When it comes to a Deluxe Reverb, part of the reason why I want to borrow this again is I've owned 2 of them, right? I've sold them both, and I sort of really regret getting rid of this particular one. So I want to see just how my ear felt about it all this time later. And I really enjoyed playing it. Unsurprising. Now, there's a few pros and cons when it comes to this amp. The pros are it sounds beautiful clean, but it doesn't get very loud clean. As soon as you start to crank it up, you get into that off clean, dirty territory. And depending on what kind of guitar you play, you might have far less headroom than you think. Playing at home, it's plenty loud, but if you're a gigging musician playing unmiked in a room without a PA system supporting the amplifiers and so forth, sometimes this isn't enough. Most of the time it is, but sometimes it isn't. And that's one of the reasons why I sold mine. For the venues that I was playing at, it wasn't loud enough and we didn't mic up a lot of the time, which was just the way that those rooms operated. In the times where I did mic up with a Deluxe Reverb, it was a beautiful sound. I could hear it coming back in the foldbacks and all that kind of stuff. So it's an amazing amplifier in the right sort of circumstance. And another positive of it is it's nice and light. So if you don't want a backbreaker, it's a great amp. It's far lighter than my Blues Deluxe Reissue amp and my Marshall back there. So that's a really cool thing. But at 22 watts, it doesn't fill a room anywhere near as well as a Blues Deluxe or a Hot Rod Deluxe. I get asked that question a lot, which is why I want to throw that into this particular section of the video. Lastly, how does this compare up against the Tone Master Deluxe Reverb? They're both different amplifiers, so I think there's some benefits to the Tone Master amp, but one of the benefits of this amplifier, and I've said this before, is longevity. Tube amps just last and they stand the test of time. I don't know long term how reliable Tone Master amps are. I've asked Fender and they basically said, you know, we do support them, but you know, will they be supported 20 years later? Whereas an amp tech can just go ahead and fix this nice and easily. So yeah, that's an interesting point which came up in the comments section, and I thought it might be worth throwing it in. But in terms of feel and tone, I actually like the reverb on the Tone Master amp a little bit better. I find it more usable, especially once you get the amplifier up loud, and maybe a little bit cleaner. The power attenuation on a Tone Master is great, but there's nothing like that on this. So to get that kind of sound, you're gonna have to crank this up and annoy your neighbors, which is always fun. If they've got the barking dogs, you've got the loud amp. That's the way I look at it. Anyway, thanks again for watching. If you want to check this amp out, links will be below. Thanks again. See ya.